Okay, so let's get started. My name is David, aka Crest.
Right. I am Vermilion Fire, or V Fire. You can also call me Mercedes. Yeah.
And we're talking about body positivity and what that means when it comes to doing your cosplay, what it means to have the body that you want versus the body you have, and how to make the cosplay that you want to do work with you.
Cosplay Session Theme, we are all about, like, everybody can cosplay regardless of what body you're born with, and that you can go out there and I always love, quoting, cosplay is the creation of the impossible, and you guys are incredible no matter what shape or form you come in, and we want to help promote that here. So that's what this panel is about.
So also, when we talk about body positivity, we talk about people come in all shapes and sizes. Everybody has different. I'm sorry, I just got distracted by Nicholas D. Wolfwood, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Come on in. There's seats over here. There's seats.
Over, I think there's just triple over.
Yeah.
No, you're
good,
totally
you're good.
fine. Love the cross.
Thank you.
So we talk about our bodies come in all shapes and sizes, but also our bodies have faults. I suffer from chronic pain constantly. We have people who have things like POTS, which is your heart works a little too hard and the blood goes to your head a little too fast, get a little overheated, and you could pass out really quickly. So when it comes to things where you have a dream, your body is not a limitation. And that's the main point of what we want to get across today.
It may have limits, but it is not a limitation for what you want to be.
Yeah, so you make the cosplay for you. You don't make your body for the cosplay.
Yes.
Oftentimes we'll talk about, and it feels really hypocritical because we're both very svelte, very thin, but your body is what you have. You can work out as long as you're not working out to have the perfect body, the perfect experience for it, because perfection is not a goal. Perfection is an idea. And there's a difference between I have a real goal and I have a tangible, like, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to gain a little bit of muscle. So that way when I flex for my Armstrong character from Full Metal, like, I can have a little bit of definition. Or I don't put on, like, I'm in chronic pain. I can't lift a weight for 5 seconds. Are you kidding me? So maybe I can figure out how contouring works. I have a big giant sword that I don't carry with me right now because I have mic stuff to carry. But when I use that sword, I can actually use it as something to lean on when my leg wants to give out. So it's all about making the cosplay for you. Mm-hmm. And how you identify with, like, what works well for me.
Sarah, I love you. Sorry, I'm distracted. All right, so many cosplayers out there, like, you can find inspiration from, like, a lot of times you see, like, the big famous ones, and you're like, oh, they're all like one body type, but when you really start looking into it, you realize that they're not. Like, we've had here in Utah, Team USA, 4 World Cosplay Summit, Panin and Garnet Runestar. They represented Team USA in 2014, and they were the first plus size team, I believe, to go to Japan to compete. And they were incredible. If you look up their work online, like, it's in beautiful work. They really work hard to create cosplays that complement the what they feel are the best parts of themselves. Even though they're both very tall, they are plus size cosplayers, but they look amazing. Like, they're incredible. I like when you create a cosplay for yourself, like, look at what, name 3 things right now in your head, all of you. You're like, uh-oh, that you like about yourself, because your bodies, there's at least one thing you like about yourself. And that could be your eyes, right? Or if you have a female presenting body, usually the chest area is really great. And yeah, so sorry. For me, I like to crossplay a lot. So I am gender fluid. I like to be able to transform from male to female and all the in-betweens. And I have, as I've gotten older, that's become a little harder for me. But finding ways to still make it work has been, I've tried to approach it more as a challenge than a hindrance of like, how can I still make this work? And even though like I don't look like I did when I was 19, it's like there are still ways that I can make myself look good the way that I am, and it's different, and it's still good, and it's still amazing. There's still days where I'll hit that wall, and we're all hard on ourselves, right? It happens, but being able to push through that, having the support system that I have, I've got David, who's a great hype man, hype fae. Alex up here is incredible. If you guys haven't met X Angel, this person is amazing. And having that support group is really helpful of like being able to, when your mental head, that goblin in the back of your brain is telling you you can't, go grab your friends so that they can tell you that you can. Because I promise you, you all can. You can and should do that cosplay, okay?
And like, it is about the community that you have sometimes, because there are going to be days where you just like, you look at it and go, why am I doing this? What did I sign up for? Why am I trying to make any of this work? And so to have a group of people that is rooting for you, cheering you on, and asking like, I want to see progress photos. I want to see how we can do this better. Maybe it's not just a verbal confirmation. Maybe it's like, hey, can I come hang out with you while you work on this cosplay? And sometimes that body doubling is really, really helpful.
It's very helpful.
We would love to hear like your thoughts on the body positivity. We want to know your questions, your concerns. We do have this mic up here. If you want to speak, you're not compelled to, but we would love to hear like your thoughts, your experiences, because this is about you and your experience with the cosplay journey. And sometimes cosplay isn't just like dressing up in anime characters. Sometimes it's cosplaying the day-to-day.
It's like, I am cosplaying a work person. I'm going to be ready for work today.
I have to go to work. Yeah, my work Sona. I wear a tie Monday through Friday.
My work Sona. I love that.
Thank you, X Angel. So like, sometimes it's like you want to present yourself in the best way, but it's hard, right? Like, our bodies don't work in the ways that we imagine them. We see TV, we see our dream cosplayers, and we see the amazing things that they do, but there's this amazing thing called the 5-foot rule and Photoshop. And like, that Photoshop does a really good job. Like, maybe they're not hiding their curves, but they can light it differently. Maybe they're not showing the ugly seam in the back because you're just seeing the front photo, right?
I always love the cosplayers that like really look amazing, and then they show a photo right next to it where they're like not posing and sucking everything in, and they're like, look, it's just my body, okay? It's just a normal body. Like, rolls are fine, guys. Yeah. I think it's a good thing to recognize and show, like, hey, just because someone looks perfect doesn't mean that actually is the thing. There's tons of editing that goes into a lot of those photos, and recognizing that is super important. Welcome.
We like to think about like how we are constantly like pushing ourselves and striving for this like idea. But again, perfection isn't real, and as my boyfriend will tell me, done is better than perfect. And that was when I was working on half the costume that's over there. Done is better than perfect. Do I want it perfect? Of course. But again, perfect is an idea, not a goal.
Don't let it be the enemy of good.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we're throwing out therapy things now. What's your attachment style while we're at it? Mine's avoidant. I just got, I'll do it myself.
What do you mean by attachment style?
We'll talk after.
Okay, I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know. But yeah, so does anyone in here, would you like to like share an experience of like coming?
You don't have to come up to the mic.
Yeah, you don't have to come up to the mic if you don't want it on the. So this will be for a podcast episode. This is our, I don't know, probably like 7th or 8th one that we've done on this topic.
Yeah.
This is the first one without Pannon, which is weird. But if you want to just keep that off the record, I guess that is okay as well. So, because we want this to be a comforting and safe place for you guys, not a force to but on here. But if you feel like your voice can help someone else too, that's what this episode's for. So, yeah.
Yes, I'm going first. Ex-Angel here, and talking with my community last night, I realized just how much the support has helped me accept things about myself. So I'm going to list off those 3 things: my asset, my legs, and my cheekbones. Sometimes I'll look at other cosplayers and I'm like, oh, they don't. I like my bum.
Yeah.
It looks good. That's why Chung-Li was my first competition piece. Was partly because I was told in 4th grade that it was shameful to have sexy legs, and that I had them. So I kind of grew up thinking that showing my body and being proud of my body was a bad thing, and that the dichotomies were, if you enjoy showing this off, you're a bad person, and if you cover it up or you dress frumpy so that you're not presenting in the way a woman should, then okay, you're fine. I never got that praise. And so a lot of my cosplay journey has been accepting those parts of me that I've been told are not okay for showing them. So again, Chung-Li was my first competition piece after Medusa, and I was showing off those sexy legs, and I'm very proud of accepting like the high cut that a lot of people don't do for Chung-Li.
Yeah.
I've also got like a torso where it's higher than a lot of people are used to seeing. So it's actually, if I'm cutting something at the torso, I'm showing, I don't really have a midriff, it's just torso. Like, it's my leg, and then there's a little bit of rib cage, but it's not midriff, it's rib cage. And the costume I'm wearing today is part of my Jajinka Charizard. It's not all of it, but it's another part of that acceptance of, hey, I've had children, I have stretch marks, and I've done this to complement my skin tones, my design acumen, and what I can do with my body, even though it doesn't look like I can. Like, I competed at Level Up in Charizard, and
And you were beautiful on stage.
I spent like 6 months learning Bollywood dances so I could piece it together and perform on stage. And it's probably my favorite performance I've done, even though there are still aspects of my body that I'm unhappy with. But when you're surrounded by those people and you know that there's people out there doing more, it's easier to be out there yourself and to accept yourself for all the different things that your body can do and inspire for others, let alone yourself.
Thank you so much for speaking up. I'm going to ask you, Beefire, what's like the thing that a lot of people are like, when you make a prop, how do you make it feel real and lived in? What's that?
Weathering?
Weathering. So when you weather something, you want life on it, right? You want grime. You want a grittiness. Our bodies are weathered, right? Not to put you on the spot, Ex-Angel, but like stretch marks are just weathering. Laugh lines are weathering. This is just your body showing that you have lived a life. And that's not something to be ashamed of. That's an opportunity for you to really excel. And it can feel embarrassing. When my knee gives out, Pannon is the sweetest person about it. She gets so concerned. Oh my gosh, are you okay? What do you need? Let's get a wheelchair. And like, that's really kind. It can be a little overbearing, right? When you have somebody like doting over you in a way that's like, this is normal, it happens, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna continue walking, right? But like, that's part of my weathering. That's a way that I get to look at myself and go, hey, look at this trick that I can do where I can take 3 steps and then on the 4th one, we go for a roller coaster. Yeah, Willy Wonka is my role. Honestly, my cane idol. So like, there is aspects of our body that like, all of us look at TV and go, that's not what I have. I should have that. But they are hiding that weathering that makes them the person that they are, because they're not selling their life, they're selling a product. Oftentimes, right? Mm-hmm. They're selling an experience or a product or an idea, and that's not who we are. And if you want to compete, people aren't looking for, well, you got a little bit of a crinkle right here whenever you smile, and that, you know, I've never seen Joker do that before. So, right? I've also learned my lesson about Jokers from the people who were in my panel yesterday. Yeah, it's hard. It's frustrating. It's scary. But in the end, when you have a good community of people who want to support you and aren't creepy about it, I'm gonna take the creep factor for just a second. It would be really creepy if I went up to my friend X Angel and goes, "Got a great bum. That's a great butt," right? But if you have a friendship and you're like, "Hey, I want to give you praise. What can I give you praise in?"
Alex, you have a great butt.
And you have boundaries and you talk about what you feel comfortable accepting praise about. Or you can even ask, I'm feeling really self-conscious about X. Can you give me some like pointers on it, or just tell me that X looks really great? It doesn't have to be like really intimate, but it can be very specific at times. One of my things as a mask presenting person, compliment one thing that they are in control of, and that's it. Hey, I really like your shoes. They have control over their shoes. That's it. I'm done. And if we want to strike up a conversation afterwards, as again, a mask presenting person, that's where I can stop it and I can allow the conversation to happen naturally. Mm-hmm. If you go, I really like this dress and your earrings and the thing that you did on your eye, and it feels too intimate coming from a stranger. But since V-Fire and I are friends, I can go, oh my gosh, I love you so much. You're so cute. Look at you. I love the ponytail. I wish I had hair like yours so I could do a ponytail. Did you know I had a ponytail once?
Did you?
I did.
What?
It was garish. That's the best word I could use for it. Garish. I was a very greasy, long ponytail person for about a year. Your body has an experience, and you should feel comfortable in it. You have boundaries. You have the opportunity to speak up for those things. Ask for help. It's hard. It's very, very hard. And you get to define what you want to show off. You get to define, maybe you look at X Angel and go, oh my gosh, I would love that, but maybe I don't want to show off my stomach. You can also add in material that is more skin tone, so that way it looks more t-shirt. Maybe it's more of a religious thing.
That's another really big thing with cosplay, is that there really aren't rules to how you cosplay. If you're like, you don't want to show off your hips, like Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you're finding that like there's a part of you where you're like, I'm not comfortable just diving in and being like going straight to a bikini or something, right? That's okay. Like, I don't like showing off my hips. I just have never liked them. And so I prefer doing, like if I come across a cosplay where there is a lot more leg showing than I want to show, I will modify the design to something that is more comfortable to me and maybe even more flattering to me as well. I am a firm believer that no matter what your body type is, you can design something for it to make it very flattering, and that like a lot of the big industries and whatnot out there don't know how to do this, and it's a big thing that they are missing. I actually am starting to teach fashion design at my new job. I keep saying new job. I've been at it for a year. Yeah. They keep giving me new responsibilities. They do, and some of it's my fault. Yeah, like the other day, I was like, I had this really great idea. And my boss goes, "Are you giving yourself more work to do?" And I go, "Maybe." But like I'm trying to teach, like I teach teenagers, and I'm trying to teach them. It's like you all come in different shapes and sizes. Let's make you like we made like miniature dress forms of each of the kids in my last cosplay class. It was made to their dimensions, and they were able to create miniature versions of their cosplays and put it on these. And no matter what shape these kids were, they were really proud of what they created because they could create it for themselves. And that's the most important thing, is that you, especially with cosplay, as an art, as a hobby, as a profession, any of those things, first and foremost is you're making it for you and bringing in not just your design, but part of you into it, and being able to design for yourself. Suddenly so much more opens up. Suddenly you're not limited to whatever the social norms are, and now you can be like, oh, hey, you know what? I look really good when I, wear this outfit this way, or like, I'm gonna get a little into this. I look really good as Xerxes Break. I think that's one of my favorite cosplays, male cosplays to do, because I think I look crazy because he's a Mad Hatter, but also hella handsome. And like calling myself handsome is a weird, like, what the first time that it happened anyways was like a weird thing to happen to me, where I'm like, this is new and I kind of like that. And you just kind of discover this thing about yourself. And yeah, so cosplays, design them for you and find what you like to wear, what you feel you look good in, and don't worry about the haters. I can't cuss, but
Screw them.
yeah, that's
it. That's the family
That's it.
safe version.
the family. Eject them.
Yeah.
Eject them. Block them. Ban them.
I think
You don't need them in your life. You're taking care of you and your amazingness. So
I think like sometimes it like can be like a really elevating thing when you do the thing that's scary, right? To kind of go back on to what X Angel said of like 4th grade, you're told like this is what you do with your body. Like those things stick with you in such a long way. My family called me chicken legs forever. Right? Yeah, you get these like weird nicknames that are like kind of derogatory, and like they make you everybody laughs at them, but then it sticks with you and you start realizing, oh my gosh, there's so much here about like my body that I didn't even think about. And so when the first time that I wore a sleeveless tank, every one of my friends goes, "What the hell are you wearing? What's going on here?" And I felt so self-conscious that I never wore tankless shirts ever again.
Aww.
Legitimately, this is the first time in public that I am wearing this. And nobody has said anything. Nobody's looked at my arms and gone, chicken arms there. All right, let's go. Yeah, I like to show off my body now a little bit more because I'm taking advantage of this, and it's scary. It's so scary to take that opportunity to just kind of brag. This is my body. It's the journey that I'm on. It's got the weathering I like. I've added extra weathering all around it. I would love. I could talk about my tattoos all day. And like it's terrifying that, but now it's freeing because like I'm sitting here like nobody's talking about my arms. Nobody's looking at my arms. Everybody's looking at the armor that I. Stop it! Be fired! You tell mom.
oh no, don't tattle,
Yeah,
don't tattle.
I'll tell Pannon. How about that?
Tell Pannon.
Yeah.
For me growing up, I had this very weird in-between thing. I have mentioned this in the panel before, but not on a recorded one, so this will be interesting because now I'm like, it's going to actually be out there. how do I want to phrase this so it's actually recorded, and I hope my extended family doesn't hear it.
Nah, screw them. Eject them.
Eject them. I. Woo. Sorry.
Take your time.
Where is this coming from? I've dealt with this. Whoa. Sorry. So growing up, my family has very high metabolism. So we are all very light, tiny creatures. But I was more normal than the rest. And so I would never speak up about my body or any of my problems because all of my friends were heavier than me, but all of my, especially extended family, were way lighter than me. And I always felt like I had to just shut up and just deal with it. Yeah, my extended family, there was this dress, which is like, I'm not really a dress person. I'm actually like slowly getting back into dresses lately. Graduating high school, my family member, I'll keep it sort of vague, but if they are listening, they will know, offered to let me borrow a dress from her wardrobe. And I went through the dresses and I found one, it fit like a glove. And I actually felt really beautiful in it. And it was just like, I'd never felt that way about my body before. Like looking in the mirror, I was like, I look so amazing. And I went down to show everybody and be like, this is what I'm going to wear to my graduation. I feel beautiful. Like, and I go to show them. And she goes, oh, that one was a little big on me.
Yikes.
And God, I wish I'd stolen that dress. I wish I'd just kept it instead of returning it back to her after graduation. But it was really hard because that put like a stain on everything for the rest of that weekend with the graduations and all that stuff. But like, I try to look back and remember I felt amazing in that, and that the comment, however harmless or joking or whatever, everything's always a joke with them, and it's like, you are kind of cruel about your jokes. I can, like, this is something I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, I've conquered it, and then it suddenly sneaks back, as you guys just saw. I can be who I am, and it doesn't matter what the haters think, whether they are your family or random internet trolls or whatever, because I know that feeling was real in that moment, and cosplay has brought those moments back to me, especially like being able to make my own designs, throw my own personality into these cosplays, and yeah, so that's it. Sorry, guys.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, I did not think that was going to hit me. I'm so sorry.
To kind of bounce on the other side of that, my wife, I am polyamorous, so when I say boyfriend, wife, there's many people in my life. But my wife was cleaning out their closet, and they're like, hey, I've gained a lot of weight. I can't wear these anymore. And like, as a joke, I was like, let me put on your dress. Can I tell you how freaking freeing that was? And I felt so beautiful. That was part of my gender identity discovery of just like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. And just like to have that moment of like, I wore this, I feel good in my skin. And when you have the right people to continue to support you and praise you and tell you, that looks great, you look great, and this is a great combination. I still have that dress. It's very gothic. It's got like this high collar thing. Oh my gosh. I slay in that.
I'm so glad.
In like the trashiest stereotype of just like, it kills every single time that I wear it. I think I showed you that picture, actually.
I think yes, you did.
Yeah,
yes, you did. You did slay.
I did slay. Thank you. Thank you
do
for confirming
slay.
that.
It's a continuing thing. There we go. Yeah.
About the gender thing.
Yeah.
Here, I can come up.
Yeah. Oh, only if you want to.
I want to.
All right.
Hello, I'm Wolfwood. The aforementioned busty Wolfwood that came in late to the panel. So I'm also gender fluid. And for me, cosplay has definitely been freeing in a way that it makes me fall in love with parts of myself that I didn't think that I loved anymore. So especially with gender fluidity, I get very dysphoric sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially with this whole thing.
Yo, mood.
But
It's like,
here's the thing, it's crazy the attitude shift you get when suddenly it's not you anymore. I am not Sage, which is my birth name. I am Wolfwood. And Wolfwood looks great with tits.
Yes!
He looks great. And so it's about, for me, cosplay is definitely about more than just self-expression, but also learning to love your body in a way that you don't necessarily get when you're wearing normal clothes and, having your work sona, Definitely would not be wearing this outside of a con, for example. But at a con, it feels very comfortable, and I feel very welcomed as part of that community, right? I never, ever feel like I'm being judged for any of my cosplays. Because I think it is a more welcoming community.
Yeah.
And same thing, I also do cosplays the other way around. And again, like you said, that handsome feeling,
it's so nice.
it's so weird, but so nice. Because I also do mask Wolfwood. I just switch back and forth for ultimate gender chaos.
You've got
I think all it is.
gender chaos. I love that.
Yeah, I would say a different word, but you guys were saying you're not swearing, so I'm not going to do that. But yes, gender chaos. It's just great. I ran into somebody in the hall earlier, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I remember you from Anime Bonsai last year." And I was like, "Yeah, I was in the mask form of this cosplay." So it's nice that I don't know, people can see that spectrum, I guess, too. But yeah, that's my piece.
Honestly, it's one of my favorite things. Yesterday, I was wearing Harley Quinn, when it's gender bent, so it's not a tube top that she wears. I made more of an open vest, and oh man, do the normies give me looks! I've got the thigh highs up. It's got thigh gap on it. It's short shorts. Honestly, they might as well be boxers at that point, and just a lot of skin afterwards. And it's just you get that opportunity to no, this is me, and I feel comfortable. You don't like this? That's your problem.
That's absolutely the feeling of walking out of your house before you get to the con, especially with my Punisher over there.
Yeah.
People will give you really weird looks for looking around a white cross
Yeah.
without context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I promise it's a prop for a cosplay.
Well, anything else you would like to add?
No, that's it. But thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we would love to hear what you have to say.
Come on up.
Oh my God, just listening, I could probably talk to you guys for hours, honestly. Thank you so much for just being so vulnerable in a room full of strangers. I think it's great.
Introduce yourselves, because I'm
absolutely.
really excited.
Hi,
I know
Princess
who this is.
Deathwish. I am a professional wrestler. Based out of here. I normally would say local, but I'm not, because I'm always out of state.
You're
Hold on.
everywhere.
Yeah, no, I like Philadelphia, Florida, Cali, Oregon.
Yeah.
I just go wherever they pay me to go. A lot has been said that I just reside with, which is great. We right off the bat, just you figuring out you love being in a dress. That's kind of how Princess Deathwish kind of came about.
I love that.
The story is that I was difficult to work with, so a lot of people just started calling me Princess before the Princess persona. I was a cosplayer. I wore Pikachu tights. I wore Astro Boy tights. Whatever I could get in a cosplay and wrestling gear, that's what I would do. But I was pretty difficult to work with. Still might be. But instead of turning away from the princess chants that I started getting from the audience, I dove into it. I started wearing makeup, and that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
It was a discovery that I really just enjoyed doing my makeup. I really enjoyed adding some femme flair to my costume. I still identify as a male, but I love being feminine.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things as this persona. So when you were saying Slay, he's actually wearing my merchandise right now.
Oh, lovely.
Slay, Deathwish, Slay.
Slay, Deathwish, Slay.
No, I appreciate this. I didn't know what I didn't know what to expect when I walked in here, and just the conversations have been great. I have a body image issue, severe. And in wrestling, we're very cosmetic, and we're taught to hide our flaws. But it is nice to just come here and listen to these kinds of things and
Can embrace them and
Yeah,
find that
exactly.
they can be a good strength in your cosplays as well.
I agree.
I had a problem this morning as I was getting ready, and I said to my wife, "Hey, some of my makeup is mixed into yours. Can you get my makeup out of there?" Because I was like, I need my stuff. It's my things that I know of. And it's like, I'm not wearing a lot, just wearing a little bit. But, you know, there's that point in your body when you just, like, clicks, right? And it's quiet at first. But then as you kind of recognize, this is what I'm loving about myself, it is one of the freeing things that you can do.
No, I've really enjoyed the journey the last few years as this persona, just because again, it's brought a bit of me out that I didn't even know was there.
Yeah.
Which can be hard with family. I come very traditional Mexican family.
Whoa, yeah.
So, you know, questions always come up at family reunions that are very inappropriate, and you just kind of have to roll with the punches
Yeah.
with those kinds of things. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I read Eddie Izzard's book, The Comedian. She now goes by Susie. And it's an autobiography, and she talks about the first day that she went out in essentially drag at that point. And that's what she defines it as. She wears a dress, and she doesn't even walk out of her apartment in the dress at that point in time. She goes into a woman's bathroom at a coffee shop and puts on that dress. And she said the hardest thing she has ever done in her life is walking out in that dress. And that's scary, because that is something that, like, you're committing to this, you're out in public, and you're subjecting yourself to the opinions of others sometimes. And when you have a moment where you can, like, just be and be a little bit more free, maybe it's not you go out in public. I have yet to go out in public in a skirt or a dress. I have taken the trash out, and that is it. That is where my comfort lies. Because I also live in a very conservative area. So I'm going to play it safe for myself, right? So you move at your pace. There is no exact, okay, step 1, you do this. Step 2, it's not a staircase. Growth is not linear. So even when you have moments of, like, I'm feeling really confident, I feel brave, and then you get one troll comment on a TikTok that you made, that can shatter it all. And that is okay as well.
Mm-hmm. Growth can be a little bit of a roller coaster, but you'll find the more and more that you're going along, you're going to realize that even though it's been kind of rocky on your way up, you are up. And I also want to throw out there too, like, your cosplays, like, coming to accept your body doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, like, show skin or things like that. It can just be getting into a cosplay that you felt like you could not do before because someone told you no, or your brain goblin in the back was like, no, you can't do that. And it can be fully clothed and whatnot as well. Like, I don't want to be like, you have to show skin, because you don't have to. I prefer not to as well. But getting out there and just being like, this is a cosplay that I can do because I want it, and that's the important thing. We've got about 7 minutes left. Does anyone else want to come up and share any stories,
Any thoughts that came up that you wanted to share?
Yeah.
Yeah, by all means.
Come on up. Yeah.
I'm Mater. I'm actually also gender fluid. There are a lot of us in this room.
Hey, yay!
Weird how we all kind of glom together like that.
For me, cosplay can be hard because it's so impossible to find pre-made things that fit.
Yes.
Even this Wei-Wuxian I'm wearing right now, this belt is barely holding on. And it makes it really hard to do because I have carpal tunnel in both of my hands. So making them at home can be really hard to do sometimes.
Yeah.
But I also can't buy them at line because they almost never fit me correctly. They never expect me to, they never expect a cosplayer to have strong legs or to have more than a tiny waist, or even just sometimes wigs are hard because I have a large scar on the top of my head and there's no breathability. So it's like, just, there's no accommodation for anyone that's not skinny. And so if you can't sew it at home, it's a lot harder to exist in the space
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're a disabled person trying to work with your hands.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really great thing to bring up. I have very, very, very slowly seen some changes happening, and I'm hoping that like we can push to have those changes happen faster, to have more cosplay sizes, more accommodations, and just get that out there, because yeah, like you said, like not everybody can just make it on their own at home, but like yeah, getting out there and finding that finding people who take those commissions have been a lifesaver in a lot of cases for that, where it's like someone can create it for you, but it ends up costing more because it is a custom made commission. And I'm really, really like, this is my like dream thing, is that hopefully we can get more cosplays pre-made in more sizes to open up to this larger crowd of people who need this and want it, right? Because that's, you know what? Greedy corporations. Corporations out there who sell cosplays. Yo, there's this whole audience that you're missing out on, and this is money you are losing. So,
Listen here, you corpo scum.
I was trying to be nice, but you know they're not going to listen to my podcast. But no, it's like seriously, that would be amazing to have that, because like, my best friend Sadie, we love cosplaying together and making costumes, and she's also plus size, and it's been really fun learning how to make cosplays for a body type that's not me, because I always just make for me, and making for her has opened up my skills more, and she doesn't have the time to make her own cosplays at home. She's fine like doing like small things here and there, but like I love that I am able to help bring her dreams to reality as well. And yeah, so I want that for more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up. We wanted to thank you all for just the vulnerability of being here and having, even being part of the conversation.
If you see Pannon, tell her hi.
Yeah.
She will also, like, if you want advice from her too, she's always willing to talk about this subject because it is very near and dear to her heart. This panel was started by her, and we can, we appreciate her for that.
Yeah. So as you leave, remember to be kind to yourself, be gentle, take a few moments to think about who you want to be, not necessarily the perfect idol, but maybe the small goals along the way. Know that you are loved, know that we love you, and that you love you as well, even on your roughest days. And that's where we're going to end it. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you.